The story begins with a team that had reached close to a deserted island. This place was not common on the world map. But according to an old research linked to the United States, something was hidden here, something that had been searched for over several decades. As their ship docked at the shore, seriousness was clearly visible on everyone's faces. This was not an ordinary expedition, but a journey where there was no room for mistakes. The team leader warned everyone that this area had already swallowed many people before. But for Warren, this was not just an expedition, it was a personal mission. He was connected to a man who lived in America. Someone who had spent his entire life uncovering this very secret. A secret that the world considered nothing more than a legend. As soon as they entered the island, the atmosphere began to change. Silence surrounded them, along with broken structures and signs of old tunnels everywhere. Jenny, who was the researcher of the team, explained that this place was once part of a secret system. A system that was deliberately hidden from the world after the war. Moving forward, they came across the entrance of an old mine. The door was rusted, but the darkness inside felt like a sign of a massive secret. The captain stopped, looked at everyone and said, "Whoever goes through this door will not come back as the same person." But this was no longer the time to turn back, because what had brought them here was not just treasure, it was the truth. Standing outside the mine, everyone pauses for a moment. The cold air coming from inside was a sign that this place was not ordinary. The captain once again warns that if they go inside, the situation could get out of control at any moment. But in Warren's mind, the same old thoughts were spinning. The words he had read in his father's diary back in America. His father had written that the truth is always hidden in darkness, and whoever searches for it must face fear first. Eventually the team enters the mine. After walking just a few steps, the light almost disappears, and the torch becomes their only support. The old markings on the walls were proof that this place was once part of a major secret project. Jenny carefully observes those markings and explains that all of this was hidden after the war, so that no one could ever reach this place again. As they move forward, the ground becomes more uneven. With every step, the danger increases, and the path back has already started to fade. Suddenly, a loud sound echoes. Everyone stops in shock and immediately realizes that they are not alone. The captain signals everyone to stay silent. Even the sound of breathing now feels extremely loud. After a few moments, it becomes clear that someone else has also entered the mine. It is now obvious that their arrival was no longer a secret. In Warren's mind, there was only one question. If this place was so well hidden, then how did someone else find out about it? With that question, they continue moving deeper, where the darkness was not only swallowing the light, but the truth as well. As they move further ahead, the atmosphere of the mine becomes even more terrifying. Moisture, silence, and an unfamiliar pressure can be felt everywhere. At the same time, a faint sound is heard from above. The captain immediately understands that this is not a natural noise. They are still discussing the situation, when suddenly chaos erupts in the air and several armed people appear outside the mine. The intention of those people is clear. They have also come in search of the same thing that brought this team here. To avoid confrontation, the team quickly retreats deeper into the mine. Although they have weapons, the number of people outside is far greater. Now there is no option left except to hide. But even here, luck does not support them. A loud explosion is heard from outside. Someone has thrown an explosive device toward the entrance. Within moments, a large part of the mine collapses. Dust spreads everywhere, and the path is completely blocked. Now it is clear that they are trapped in a place where both time and air are limited. In the silence, only one question echoes. Will they be able to get out of here alive? At that moment, Warren decides to reveal the secret that he had kept hidden from everyone until now. He says that years ago, his father worked on a confidential file in America. That file mentioned a treasure that was hidden at a remote location during the war. Later, Warren and Jenny continued that research, and they realized that this very place was the location. But this information was known only to the two of them. So the question was, how did the others find out about it? This thought settles in everyone's mind like a threat, and the darkness inside the mine begins to feel even deeper. After the explosion, a deep silence spreads inside the mine. Dust is still hanging in the air, and breathing has become difficult. The captain keeps everyone together, because separating now could be dangerous. The path is completely blocked, and there is no possibility of going back. Warren realizes that the time to hide the truth is now over. He explains that while living in America, his father had researched a project that was deliberately hidden from the world. That research mentioned a valuable reserve that was moved to a secret location after the war. Over time, Warren and Jenny connected all the pieces of that secret. That is when they became certain that this mine was the location. But this information was limited to only the two of them. The captain, shocked, asks that if the secret was so well protected, then how did the other people reach this place? Warren has no clear answer to that question. That uncertainty begins to worry everyone. At the same time, an old passage inside the mine begins to appear. The passage looks as if it was deliberately hidden. Jenny explains that this tunnel likely leads to the central area, and if they want to get out of here, they will have to take this route. After a moment of hesitation, everyone starts moving toward that narrow tunnel. With every step, the darkness grows deeper, and the mine seems to be pulling them further inside. No one had any idea what was waiting ahead. But one thing was clear. This journey was no longer going to turn back. The moment they step into the tunnel, everyone realizes that this path is not ordinary. The walls are old, and the markings carved on them remind them of a secret system. In the torchlight, Jenny examines those symbols and explains that all of them were created immediately after the war. This means that whatever was hidden here, every possible effort was made to prevent it from ever coming to light again. As they move forward, the tunnel keeps getting narrower, and the air begins to feel scarce. Suddenly, the sound of footsteps comes from behind. Everyone stops. There is no room left for doubt now that other people have also entered the same path. The captain decides that they must increase their speed, or the situation will slip out of control. They all begin to move faster, but suddenly the ground starts to shake. Soil and stones begin to fall from above, as if the tunnel could collapse at any moment. In the middle of this chaos, an old door appears in front of them. The engraved symbols on the door are immediately recognized by Jenny. She explains that behind it, several dangerous traps may be hidden. But this is no longer the time to stop. Warren decides that moving forward is the only option. They slowly open the door, and in the very next moment, a scene appears before their eyes that no one had expected. As soon as the door opens, a vast underground hall appears before them. The moment light falls inside, shimmering objects and ancient chests become visible everywhere. The maps and markings on the walls prove that this place once served as the center of a major secret project. Everyone immediately realizes that they have finally reached the very thing that brought them here. Warren stands silently for a few moments. His mind drifts back to his time in America, when his father spent years chasing this very secret. Jenny reminds him that the danger is far from over. At that exact moment, noise is heard from behind. The second group has also reached the hall. Their leader steps forward and announces that everything here now belongs to them. The captain warns them that this place is filled with deadly traps. But greed has already overtaken reason. As soon as they move forward, the traps hidden beneath the ground are triggered. Within moments, the hall fills with screams and chaos. Warren and his companions manage to save themselves by staying close to the walls. During the chaos, Jenny notices a control system. She realizes that this might be the only way to stop the traps. After a tense and dangerous moment, she activates the system. The traps slowly begin to shut down, and silence returns to the hall. Now only a few people remain standing. Warren shows them the way out, because he does not want any further bloodshed. As they leave, their leader delivers one final line, saying that this place is not about wealth, but a test. After the second group leaves, an eerie silence settles over the hall. The shimmering treasures are still there, but no one feels the desire to touch them anymore. The captain reminds everyone that this place will not remain safe for long. Warren takes out his father's old diary. It says that those who enter with greed never return. Jenny carefully studies the maps on the walls and realizes that this entire system was designed to teach a lesson. At that moment, the ground begins to shake again. Stones start falling from the ceiling, and the pillars of the hall begin to collapse. The captain immediately orders everyone to leave. Using the maps, Jenny manages to find a hidden escape route. Leaving the treasure behind, everyone runs toward that path. Behind them, the hall slowly turns into rubble. Warren turns back one last time and realizes that true wealth is not something that can be seen with the eyes. Somehow they all manage to escape. The moment they step into the light, the entire mine collapses behind them. They sit on the ground, catching their breath, grateful to be alive. In his heart, Warren says goodbye to his father. This journey was never about treasure, but about truth and understanding. And that was the true ending of this story.